So here we're going to look at mood and affect, motivation and affect, sorry, and what gets you off the couch. If the need is immediate, it's really strong, the pull is overwhelming, for example, you're starving and you have to have something to eat, you will definitely get out and get something to eat. And it may not be a good choice. It could be a choice of convenience. When I first moved into my new house years ago, I found that it felt like I was in a fishbowl. And I felt like everybody in the neighborhood was looking in at me because I had no curtains, right? When I bought the house, the curtains had been taken down. And the need was immediate, so out I went. I didn't really necessarily look around for the best curtains or the best deal. I just bought what I needed because my motivation and my need was immediate and very strong. So let's talk about need. Need is something, we feel it. It's definitely an emotion. We need it. The need arises, we feel this great tension, and the only way to solve the tension is to satisfy the need. Your stomach growls in class, you feel it once, you get satisfied, repeat it again and again and again. So this is this deck there won't be something on every single slide because they're self-explanatory, but this is just to set up the foundation of the slide. So needs and wants. Some people believe that needs and wants are the same. Other people believe that they're very different. Some people even think they're two sides of the same coin. We have a need. For example, we need to buy clothing so that we don't freeze to death. But our want is to buy Calvin Klein clothing or Michael Kors clothing. So we could buy Columbia clothing, but we choose to buy the more expensive clothing, and that's because we're satisfying not only the need, but also the want. You have to make your own decision on that. Maslow is one of the primary people when it comes to, biological versus learned needs. So he sees them the same, all right? He sees them the same. He feels we have these biological needs, which are hunger, thirst, clothing, and shelter. But then we have these learned needs. We have these things that go beyond these four primary needs. We have a need for love. We have a need for self-esteem. And his theories are well known. He has this hierarchy that he feels we have to satisfy the lower levels in order to go to the next levels. I'm going to present a counter suggestion to that, and I'll let you make your own decisions there. So remember, according to Maslow, you have to fill up the first level before you can move up to the next level. But yet I've known people, I'm sure you've known people, who will go without a biological need to get a new dress or suit or a fancier car. So is Maslow right when you look at people who are, starve themselves in order to attain, higher levels of self-actualization? Does that go counter to what Maslow states, that you have to satisfy those underlying needs in order to get to the next level? It doesn't really matter to me, which side you believe, but I will tell you that wants are the playground of the marketer, getting you to think that that's the best and only way to satisfy your need. Regardless of whether or not you believe it is a need or a want, I will tell you that we absolutely buy the product that we feel suits the need the best. If our need is self-expression or self-image, or we're trying to get a promotion, maybe the $110 watch is the right choice for telling time, but the $410,000 watch is the one that we want to buy because we feel that shows we're ready for that next level. So again, it'll be the one where the marketer does the best job of convincing people that their product fills the need the best. So do we buy a product for more than just its original purpose? Yes, we do. So is the watch just for telling time? No, the watch is not just for telling time. Is the car just for getting us to work? No, because if that were the case, we would buy the cheapest and most convenient. The reason we buy the more expensive watch or the more expensive car is because it fills a different part of our need system that we can't get from just a simple timepiece or a simple car. So yes, it is important to understand that the products that we buy fill a need beyond the standard need of, we're hungry so we eat, we need to tell time so we wear a watch, we need to get to work so we drive a car. So when it comes to approaches, we can have the approach. There's two good options, two good choices, and they both claim the same thing. We can buy a Hyundai Sonata. We can buy an Acura, right? They both do the same thing. They have similar gas mileage, similar cost, and that's called approach. Two good choices, and we start to figure out which one we want. It could be approach avoidance. We want something, but it comes with a negative. I want that car, but it comes with a huge price tag. Or I like that truck, but it doesn't have good gas mileage. So that's called approach avoidance. And then the third is avoidance. Each choice has a negative. I need to buy life insurance because I need to have it, but it costs me a lot of money and I don't benefit from it. So these are the three approaches. Now, if you're a marketer of the products, approach, avoidance, and avoidance, you're going to sell them differently depending on which one of these approaches you think most people take to get to your product. So what motivates you to buy can be very different from somebody else who buys exactly the same product, right? So consider Pampers. You have different motivations for Pampers. One motivation is, I buy Pampers because I'm a good parent and it's the best product on the market, and the other might be because I want my baby to be dry. Those are two completely different motivations. Or you can take, for example, a car, right? One person may buy a car because it gets them to work, and another person may buy a car because they feel it's a status symbol. Everybody's different and has different motivations. Marketers need to understand what motivates people to buy their product. They need to use that in their advertising to convince people that their product best suits that particular motivation. I'll give you an example. Consider that vegetarians are a large group of individuals and you sell a product that meets vegetarian needs. You could sell it to say, it's the healthiest choice. Become a vegetarian, eat vegetarian because it's going to help your health. You could say, be a vegetarian because that's part of your religious beliefs or your culture. Or you could say, it's animal cruelty to kill animals, so don't eat animals, become a vegetarian. These are three different motivations for exactly the same purpose and same product. So you have to understand your target audience, back to STP, and what motivates that particular aspect of the target audience, and then position your message accordingly. So this is kind of an interesting topic because affect, which is really the mood we're in or the feeling we have when we buy, is really important. It describes our mood. And research shows that we are happier with our choices when we are in a better mood when we make the buy. And there are three states of affect. The first is evaluation, the second is mood, and the third is emotion. So the evaluation phase or stage of affect is a response to the experience or object that does not include a high level of arousal. So when I'm looking for an example of this, I think of a movie. You go to a movie, maybe you've gone to a movie with a significant other, and that movie has not been your first choice, so you really weren't in the mood necessarily to see it, but you opted to go. So you go, and it was okay. You neither liked it, you neither loved it, you neither hated it. And so you end up not necessarily recommending it or not necessarily saying anything about it, but that's what you consider an evaluation. You evaluate what you thought of that particular product or that particular experience. So mood, unlike evaluation, is a moderate state of arousal. It's not always lasting. You can get up in the morning and be in a bad mood, but by midday be in a good mood and then back to a bad mood. It's not linked to products or experiences, but it can certainly impact and affect how we feel about a product or how we feel about an experience. All of us have been in a bad mood when we've gotten to a grocery store or a retail shop, and it does impact how you feel about the things that you purchased. So we want people to be in a good mood, and we want to facilitate a good mood as much as possible. We want to make sure that the experience is good and do everything that we can to set the right mood so that people are happy with their purchases. The last state of affect is emotion. This is a strong state of arousal, and it is linked to events and products. An awesome gift, a nice surprise. It is also linked to specific events or products. It can be happiness, anger, hunger, whatever it is that is elicited but the more something is elicited, the more likely we are to have a strong state of arousal, and especially if it's a good emotion. So you go to a concert, it was a great concert, you had a wonderful time, and you remember the emotional side of that experience and that product. Emotions have a pecking order. Funny trumps sad, happiness trumps sadness, and so using emotions in the order that best allow us to be in a good mood and remember the commercials is better for us. So watch the commercial and see what you think.